Okay, so I want to start with a mental image. If I say Cary Grant, what is the very first thing that pops into your head?
Oh, it's the suit. It has to be the suit. You know, that perfectly tailored gray suit.
Right.
Maybe he's checking his watch or he's holding a cocktail. He's the absolute definition of suave, of cool, before we even really knew what that meant.
Exactly. He's the guy who never sweats, even when he's being chased by a crop duster. But here's the thing with that image. It's kind of boring.
It's static.
It's static, yeah. It's perfect, and perfection is, well, it's not that interesting. But we have a source today that just completely shatters that whole image. We're looking at a curated ranking, Cary Grant's top 15 movies, by a writer named Donovan Montierth. And his whole argument is that the real Cary Grant, the one who's a legend, he isn't the smooth guy.
Right.
He's the acrobat. He's the guy who improvises, who makes mistakes, the guy who apparently had no idea what he was doing half the time.
That is a great way to put it. Montierth isn't just, ranking these by box office or anything. This is a super personal list. He calls it the joy of discovery.
The joy of discovery. I like that.
Yeah, he's looking for those moments where the mask slips a little, or where Grant takes a huge risk that pays off big time.
And for anyone listening who thinks, okay, classic movies, sounds like homework, I promise you, this is not a history lecture. This is about finding out one of the biggest stars ever was actually this wonderfully weird, chaotic, brilliant mess of talent.
A mess in the absolute best way possible.
So let's start with that acrobat thing, because I think most people, myself included, just sort of assume he was born in a tuxedo.
Right. But his background is totally different. Before he was Cary Grant, he was Archie Leach. And Archie Leach wasn't a theater kid. He was a physical performer.
In a troupe.
An acrobatic troupe, yeah. He toured Europe, came to America, not as an actor, but as an acrobat. A stilt walker, even.
A stilt walker? No way.
A literal carnival-style performer. And Montierth argues you just can't understand his acting if you don't get that physicality. He actually puts the movie Holiday at number 13 specifically to make this point.
I don't think I've seen Holiday. What happens?
Well, there's this one scene where, just completely out of nowhere, Grant does a backflip.
A stunt double.
Nope. It's him. It's a tumbler's rear back, and it's kind of shocking because it doesn't fit that gentleman persona at all.
Wow.
And the source points out this is one of the only times you really see that curtain pulled back and get a glimpse of the acrobat.
It's funny you say that because later on in To Catch a Thief, which is number 7 on the list and totally builds that suave image, doesn't his character mention being in a circus?
He does. That's a great catch. He plays John Roby, a retired cat burglar, and there's a line where he says he was in a trapeze group that toured Europe.
So it's just a direct nod to his real life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hitchcock loved playing with that kind of stuff. But the main takeaway here isn't just that he could do a flip, it's how he used that amazing body control for comedy.
Which brings us to number 8 on the list. I Was a Male War Bride. Now, I got to be honest, just based on the title, this sounds like a total B-movie flop.
You would think so, right? It's a silly premise. Grant plays a French officer who has to dress up as a woman to get back to the U.S. with his American wife, Anne Sheridan.
So it's just pure slapstick then?
Oh, it is. There's this one scene where Sheridan makes him climb a pole, and he's just flailing around, struggling. He finally gets to the top to read a sign, and the sign just says wet paint.
Oh, no.
He slides all the way down, covered in paint. It's so undignified. It's messy.
But the thing that surprised me, reading the source, we kind of think of this as a forgotten movie, but back then,
it was a monster hit. And this is so important for understanding his career. A Male War Bride was 20th Century Fox's biggest moneymaker of 1949.
How much did it make?
$4.5 million.
And 1949 money, that's huge.
It's massive, and it shows that audiences didn't just want the cool Cary Grant. They loved seeing the icon get humiliated.
It humanized him.
Totally.
Yeah.
Because he was willing to get covered in wet paint, we let him be the handsome hero in the next movie. It bought him that goodwill.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so he's got the body control down, but the list argues his brain was just as fast. We have to talk about him as an improviser.
Yeah, this is a huge theme in Montierth's ranking. Grant wasn't just, reciting lines from a script. He was alive in the moment. And the best example, maybe in all of film history, comes from number 3, The Philadelphia Story.
Oh, I love this story. This is the hiccup moment, right?
It's iconic. So you've got James Stewart playing a reporter who's supposed to be drunk in the scene. And acting drunk is really hard. It usually looks so fake.
That can be really cringy.
Right. But Stewart's really going for it. And in the middle of a line, he actually hiccups. A real involuntary hiccup.
And normally the director would just yell, cut.
Yeah.
and you'd do it again.
99% of the time, yes. But Grant, he doesn't even flinch. Stewart hiccups, and Grant, without missing a single beat, just looks at him and says, "Excuse me."
It's so polite.
It's devastatingly funny because it's so polite. Stewart said later he almost completely lost it. He was trying so hard not to laugh. And it saved the take. It made the scene feel real.
But the source material points out a bit of an injustice here.
A huge one. James Stewart won the Oscar for that role.
And Cary Grant.
Nothing. Not even a nomination for that film. The author calls it a sham. And Grant never won a competitive Oscar in his entire career.
That's wild.
And the argument is that because he made it look so easy, like that ad-lib, the Academy just thought he was playing himself. They didn't see the work.
The curse of being too good, I guess.
Exactly. And he does it again in Charade, which is number 4 on the list. That's the one with Audrey Hepburn.
What a pairing. The chemistry is insane.
It's palpable. And again, the source credits improvisation. There's that famous scene where Hepburn touches his chin. He's got that famous cleft chin. And she asks, "How do you shave in here?"
That feels like such a clever written line.
You'd think so, but Montier says it was an ad-lib. They were just that playful on set. Grant apparently said, "All I want for Christmas is to make another movie with Audrey Hepburn."
Did they?
They tried. They almost did Father Goose together and circled My Fair Lady. In fact, in Charade, he actually ad-libs a line from My Fair Lady for her. A little inside joke.
I love that. You can feel it when actors are having fun. But sometimes the best energy comes from, well, the exact opposite, from total confusion.
Which brings us to the heavy hitters. Number 5 on the list, Alfred Hitchcock's North by Northwest.
The crop duster. Mount Rushmore. The gray suit.
Let's talk about that suit. The source makes a really bold claim about it.
It's not just the source, it's like the whole fashion world.
Right.
Didn't GQ name it the best suit in film history?
They did. A panel of experts in 2006. The best ever.
Why? I mean, it's just a gray suit.
Well, think about the movie. He's running through cornfields, climbing down Mount Rushmore. His life is falling apart, but the suit.
The suit stays perfect.
It's impeccable. It's like his armor. It tells the audience, don't worry, Cary Grant is still in there somewhere. Tom Cruise's suit in Collateral, that's an homage to this.
Wow. But the funniest thing about this perfect movie is that Grant apparently hated it while they were filming.
He didn't just hate it, he didn't get it. Midway through, he went to Hitchcock and said, "It's a terrible script. We've done a third of the picture, and I still can't make head or tail of it."
He thought it was going to be a flop.
He did. But here's the genius of Hitchcock. He didn't explain the plot to Grant. He let him stay confused. Because the character, Roger Thornhill, is supposed to be confused.
So his actual confusion became the performance. That's brilliant.
It is. Now, if that movie is about confusion, the number 2 pick is about the opposite. It's about terrifying precision. His Girl Friday.
Oh, I tried watching that recently. I had to turn on the subtitles. They talk so fast.
It's unrelenting, and that's the whole point. So for context, in a normal 1940s movie, the dialogue is maybe 90 words a minute. In his Girl Friday, they clock it at 240 words per minute.
240? That's more than double.
It's a verbal stunt. It's the dialogue version of that backflip we were talking about. The characters are constantly talking over each other, interrupting. It was revolutionary. It sounded like real chaotic life.
And Grant is just the conductor of all that chaos.
He never misses a beat. It's incredible range.
Speaking of things that almost didn't happen, number 11 is Operation Petticoat. There's a really interesting what-if story there.
Yes. This is great casting trivia. So it's a submarine comedy, very light, very funny. And the studio originally wanted Bob Hope for the lead.
Bob Hope. That's a completely different vibe.
Completely different, but Hope turned it down. And he later said it was one of the biggest regrets of his career because he watched Grant make it a massive hit.
It's hard to picture anyone but Grant in that role now.
Yeah.
He brings this authority to it, even when everything is silly.
That's the key. With Bob Hope, you expect incompetence. With Cary Grant, you believe he's a real captain, which makes the chaos around him even funnier.
Okay, so we see the professional side, the hits, the stunts. But does this list tell us anything about, the man himself?
It does. And Montier picks a few films specifically for that reason. Take number 9, Father Goose.
That's the one where he's all unshaven and grumpy on an island?
Yes. He plays this grump who ends up taking care of 7 schoolgirls during World War II. It was his second to last film.
Right.
And Grant said that this character, this disheveled beach bum, was closer to his real personality than any of the suave gentlemen he ever played.
More of a beach bum than a suave spy.
Well, it wasn't about the beach so much as the girls. He loved being a father figure in that film, and you have to remember he didn't have children until very late in his life.
His daughter, Jennifer.
She was born 2 years after Father Goose. He basically retired from acting to raise her. So when you watch that film, you're sort of seeing a man practicing for the role he wanted most in life.
That adds such a sweet layer to it.
There's also a personal connection in number 10, My Favorite Wife. It stars Grant and Randolph Scott.
The famous roommates?
For 12 years, they lived together in a beach house. And My Favorite Wife is the only movie they ever made together. So that chemistry you see is real. It's a decade of friendship.
Now, we should touch on one slightly tricky pick. Number 15 is Gunga Din. The source puts it on the list, but with pretty big caveat.
A very big one, yeah. Montieth calls it the annoying detail, the casting of Gunga Din himself. In the poem, he's a young native water carrier. In the movie, he's played by Sam Jaff.
It was. Not an Indian boy.
He was a 47-year-old white man in brown makeup.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is glaringly of its time. And the author admits it's frustrating and almost ruins the movie for him. But he keeps it on the list because the adventure and Grant's performance are just that strong. But it's a good reminder that these classics can have some serious baggage.
Absolutely.
Cute.
Okay, so we've climbed the mountain. We've gone through flips, wet paint, hiccups. What is number 1?
If you asked 100 critics, 99 would probably say North by Northwest or His Girl Friday.
But not this list.
No. Donovan Monteith's number 1 Cary Grant movie is People Will Talk.
People Will Talk. I have to be honest, I've never even heard of it.
And you're not alone. It's a 1951 film, and the author admits right away, I am an emotional animal. This is not a statistical pick. It's from the heart.
So what is it about this movie that beats out all the legends?
It's the morality of it. Grant plays a doctor, Dr. Noah Pretorius, and unlike the accidental heroes or the bumbling professors, Dr. Pretorius is a genuinely good man.
A better man, the source calls him.
Yes. The film tackles really heavy stuff for 1951 witch hunts, pregnancy out of wedlock, and Grant's character stands in the middle of all of it with just wit and compassion and intelligence.
So he's using that famous charm for something meaningful.
Exactly. In North by Northwest, charm is a survival tool. In People Will Talk, charm is a weapon against prejudice. And the source argues this is a film where Grant is the most human. He's not an icon, he's a person you'd want to be.
That's a powerful distinction. It's easy to be cool. It's hard to be good.
Precisely. And for Montier, that's the ultimate discovery. The best Cary Grant movie isn't the one with the biggest explosion, it's the one with the biggest heart.
So after all this, what's the big takeaway? We've seen the acrobat, the improviser, the anxious star.
I think it's about shattering the idea of the icon. We freeze these people in time, put them on a poster and say, that's the suit guy. But when you actually dig into the work, you see someone who is constantly taking risks.
He was willing to fail.
He was willing to be confused. He was willing to be covered in paint.
And I think that's the invitation here.
Yeah.
Don't just watch the top 3 from this list. The source mentions so many others. Arsenic and Old Lace, Notorious, Bringing Up Baby.
Ooh, Notorious is a masterpiece.
Go find the one that surprises you. Find your own number 1. And watch for the physicality. Now that you know about the acrobatic troupe, you'll never watch him walk across a room the same way again.
That's so true.
Before we sign off, I want to leave you with one final thought. It goes back to that North by Northwest story. It really stuck with me.
The terrible script story.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. Cary Grant, one of the most successful, talented people to ever be on a film set, is in the middle of making his most iconic movie. And what's he thinking?
This is a mess. I don't get it. I'm failing.
Exactly. He couldn't see the masterpiece because he was stuck inside the confusion. So if you're listening to this and you're in the middle of a project or a career change or just a Tuesday that feels like a disaster and you have no idea what's going on.
Maybe that's okay.
Maybe you're not failing. Maybe you're just in the middle of your own North by Northwest and the confusion is just part of the script.
Trust the director, even when you can't see the ending.
Thanks for diving in with us.
Always a pleasure.
See you in the next one.